Say I want to take the cosine of sine inverse of 2/3. So right now this problem seems like it came out of nowhere. It seems completely silly, but we're actually going to use this, and I want you to be able to know how to do it. And there's a lot to unpack here. So first of all, what does sine inverse mean? This is the arcsine function. So what this means is sine inverse is supposed to be an angle. Let's call it theta. And by definition, this is the angle so that sine of theta equals 2/3. And I want to find the cosine of that. And so what I always suggest students do here is take this equation and try to draw a picture of it. And what do I mean? Well, let's look at a right triangle. It's a triangle with a 90-degree angle. Let's call this angle theta. And what I want to do is I want to find a way to make these side lengths in such a way that sine of theta equals 2/3. Well, remember that sine of an angle, that's always going to be the opposite side divided by the hypotenuse. And so if I want that to be 2/3, well, I could make this triangle have length 2 on that side and 3 on that side. And then I've got a picture of this equation. So 2/3. And now all I have to do is find the cosine of theta. And so how can I do that? Well, I have to remember that cosine of theta is supposed to be, if I remember right, that's the adjacent side divided by the hypotenuse. So whatever this adjacent side is, ADJ for adjacent side. So this is adjacent over hypotenuse. And I know the hypotenuse is 3. And now I just have to figure out, well, what's the length of this side? And if you remember if you remember your trigonometry, the way that we do this is with the Pythagorean theorem. And so this tells you that that the distance from here to here is equal to the square of this length plus the square of that length. Or in other words, 2 squared plus adjacent side squared is equal to 3 squared. And maybe you've seen that as a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So here's c, there's a, and there's b. And you can solve this equation. You can pull the number 4 to the other side, and that's going to give you that your adjacent side squared is going to be what? 9 minus 4 equals 5, and therefore the length of the adjacent side, that's the square root of 5. So cosine of theta is the square root of 5 over 3.